Welcome everyone. We'll talk about creating and maintaining a proper system for I repeat, electronic record keeping in this video. So, the agenda is simple. We would love to convert everything from traditional methods to electronic methods, from paper to electronic. Important consideration, what needs to be pointed out and kept in mind while doing so: identification and capturing of electronic records, management and dispositions of electronic records. So identifying the risk. What are the risks? First and foremost is the security. Probably yes, people are very cautious about their privacy data, privacy information. So yes, and security is very important because it might involve financial transaction. So what kind of technology you use, what kind of system security that is there in your system. Risk to transaction, relationship between parties. Did I say the value of transaction? Did I say the monetary consideration? Remember, the monetary consideration might be small, but the account from which it's been done, the details might have been leaked, and the accounts can be emptied any point of time by the hackers. And that is what the risk of records is all about it. Let me give you the CBA, the cost benefit analysis. One is the technology related. What is technology related? If the technologies of a high end, a lot of encryption has been encountered, has to be encountered to retrieve our data. This becomes much difficult for hackers to retrieve it. So technology related cost, it has to be a high end technology. Record related cost, what kind of record that we are looking around here? It can be vital information, it can be just anything, it can be a medical record, it need be a financial record, it can be related to some security of your of a country perhaps. So example of cost, let me give it to you: design, development and implementation and maintenance of a new system, proper migration of records from old to new system, ongoing maintenance, migration, conservations of records, training of staffs and end users, retraining of staff that might be redesigned to other duties due to automation, new management, new administration, new process control required by the electronic transaction, and potential damage to reputation, potential damage to your credibility, and probably that impacts your public trust. These are the costs that needs to be mitigated from time to time. Now, allow me to give not only the cons, the disadvantages, but the benefits also. Examples: increased speed of transaction. Believe me or not, the retrieval of data is very quick. Increased speed, partner participation, customer satisfaction. This needs to be done across with it. Improved record keeping, efficiency and data analysis opportunities, increase employee productivity and improve quality and final product. Greater information benefits to the public, improved security and reduction in frauds, improved security for highly sensitive information, and improvement in reputation, credibility, and public trust. Thereby, what needs to be done? So, what should we do around it? We should focus on ensuring authenticity. We should focus on ensuring integrity of the system. We should focus on ensuring the security of the system. These are very, very vital at that point of authenticity, integrity, and security. There should not be any compromise as far as accessibility or the quick accessibility is concerned. So, yes, need to define the system. So what is this electronic record keeping system is all about it? We are looking at the transaction system, remember, because every transaction leaves behind a footprint, digital footprint in this case. So life cycle, the SDLC, the system development life cycle is first is planning, then comes designing, developing, operating, maintaining, and enhancing the system. What are we looking at? Planning, designing, developing, operating, maintaining, enhancing, and thereby retiring altogether. Why? Because this will entail with a new system altogether, new planning, new processes, new kernel, new algorithms, uh, new complexities that needs to be built in so that it becomes much more secure altogether. So what this was all about SDLC. Now let me give you the record life cycle per se. First and foremost, we need to create a record. There's a transaction. Probably refer to the records as in maintenance and use, and then dispose the record. There are only three stages around here. So believe me, SDLC and record lifecycle. For SDLC, plan, design, develop, operate, maintain, enhance, and retire. But for record, it's create, maintain, use, and dispose. So number one gap. what happens between a disconnect between a system development life cycle and the record life cycle is right at the beginning, when we plan, when we design, when we develop, and in the end is all about enhancement and retirement. How do we go around here? So gap number two, what we are looking into, a duration of the life cycle. In system life cycle, it might take 3 years. Now, of late, it has been reduced to 2 years, probably 1 year, but usually it's 3 years. If it's a robust system, good enough system, it's 3 years. But record keeps on and on for at least 10 years, a decade. Remember, the day you graduate, the day you have a qualification, your records has been noted in the education system of your country. Yes, and it can be retrieved 10 years down the lane, even 20 years down the lane. So the record has a longer lifespan. Bridging the gap, interdisciplinary approach to planning and designing the system. Policy and program system, information technology professional, the legal system, the record management, and the archive staff. Let me give you the identification and capture of the electronic records thereby. What are the assumptions? Agencies are built on creating electronic record. They view records management as an isolated activity, someone else's responsibility. System do not sufficiently support our business or evidently needs. Organizations are forced to maintain a duplicative paper record. Records are created that are not accessible to the organization. Information vital to the organization and society is lost or remains in the personal domain, in your own knowledge, and that what is the assumption is all about it. So we need not go any further beyond this understanding. Now, based on the assumption, can we have the objectives? Can we integrate the record management system into design an ongoing operation? Let's say e-government system, address record management in a business process system and improvement process. I hope everybody is understanding. A vital example would be, you must be owning a land or property. Where is the record? Where does the record say that this property, this land belongs to you? It has to be there in one of those provincial government documents too. It is in any government process that can be done. Everybody can retrieve it and see who is the owner of a particular property. ERM, or the electronic record management system, identify record being created in business process, captures those records, maintain accessibility to the records then and there. System requirement, communicate to program and IT managers what system must be achieved to ensure e-records are being created, maintained, perceived, or preserved, thereby to support the operational, informational, and evidentiary need as on when on required. This is what system requirement is all about it. So definition of the record, a complete set of documentation required to provide evidences of any business transaction, thereby. What is in a record? It is basically three things: the structure, the appearance, arrangement of the record, paragraph, field, languages. The content is the substance of the record, exactly what you're looking into it, the words, the number, image, and the context, the background information that enhances the data, the metadata, the software that we look into it. So three things: structure, content, and context is what is important. Now, what thing needs to be captured as far as records are concerned? The laws, the regulating policies, professional practices that define a business process also determine the record that must be created. They define the records as management requirements. They define the record as access requirement. They define the records in terms of context, in terms of content, in terms of structures per se. Identifying record requirement, business process level, is all about creating and capturing the requirements thereby. In terms of record level, is accessing and maintaining the record. You have to access the record. You don't keep on storing the record. Identifying the complete record, how long should the record be retained per se, and that needs to be ascertained. System level is the system management that comes around here. So what is a business process? One or more products that add value to the transformation, a set of inputs into a specific set of outputs, be it goods, be it services, for a customer, for a combination of people, methods, and so on, so forth. Business process level, how do we go across with it? Essential to identify records level requirement. When systems are designed, record requirement must be identified, must be incorporated within the system. That this is what business process level would be doing around it. Business process analysis can be used to improve the process. Design, where business process analysis can be used to identify records and requirement. What are we looking as a business process level? The key question: what business process is a system part of? What is the purpose of this business process? What task or transaction will this system automate? What records are captured and created by the process? Will it fulfill legal, regulatory, operational purposes? What other records needs to be imported to the complete set of transaction as on when on basis? We are talking about business process level. For each answers to the above question, the following should be asked. What are my legal requirements for this process, activity, for this record? What are the business or regulatory guidelines driving this process, activities or record? What organization policies for completing the process, activity or record as such say? And how do others complete this process? You need to answer this thing. Do you want to mimic the others? And if there are best practices, why not mimicking them? So it can be unique to yourself, or it can be a replication of the other processes altogether. So you need to answer the requirements, the legal requirement, the regulatory requirement, the organization policies. Just giving you an example. So, what businesses? Your answer: the laws, the regulations, the agencies, the policies, and the general accepted practices as on when on basis. So, if you can answer each of these five questions that comes around it, what business is this? Is this an automated system? What is the purpose of this business process? What tasks and transactions are there? Usually, there are there any when or how requirements out there, timing and decisions making? What are the record captures and created, and what are the records needs to be imported? If you want to watch this particular slide, you can pause the video right now out here, but this is just an indication for you to understand what are the tools, the analysis tool that comes around it. So yes, I've already stated. So records are of three consists of structure, content and context wise. Let me give you the internal access to it. Which department or agencies are recording it or accessing the records? What component of the records do you need to see? And what are the most efficient, or should I say effective ways for providing access to this record? Let me give you an external access. How will this record be reproduced? How will it meet the external users' requirements? If these records are covered by the federal agencies altogether, for those component of the record that the agency wishes to restrict access to the general public, what categories of exemption does the component fall under? Then we come into the capturing of the records for all defined business transaction. Remember, if there is a transaction, do record it. At an appropriate point in the business transaction, import the record related to business transaction created by other environments. In this case, it might be a regulatory environment. Let's say there's a financial transaction and you need to record it according to IFRS, International Financial Reporting System. Why? Because it helps you during your audit process comes around it. There is a sense of transparency that will kicks in. Ensure record comply with the requirement as far as content, structure, and the context of the system comes across. Let me come to the fag end of this video. It's all about system requirement. Communicate to the program, the IT manager, what system must achieve to achieve e-records, being created, being maintained, being preserved to support operational issues, to support informational requirement, to support evidentiary needs as on when on basis. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video till the end.